On a serious issue. In November last year, I spoke about the case of David Waters and his dismissal by Goodyear. David is one of Australia's top sporting shooters. He has won many competitions and medals, both domestically and internationally. In July 2015, while at work, David agreed to meet a member of a rifle club similar to his own. The visitor, a 59-year-old woman, is a keen shooter looking to excel in her sport. Liz needed advice on fitting an accessory to her new target rifle. David was leaving for overseas in a couple of days, so he agreed to see her during his lunch break at work. Liz drove into the basement car park that Goodyear shares with several other businesses and their visitors in the building. David was expecting her to turn up with the accessory only. However, she also brought along the rifle to which it was to be fitted. Until she took it out of her car, David did not know she had the rifle with her. Now, Liz is a responsible shooter, and therefore the bolt and magazine had been removed. At no point did the rifle present a risk to anyone. Unsure of his position, David nonetheless suggested to Liz that she return the rifle to the car and leave. But the car park entrance is open to the street and a passerby must have noticed the rifle. Within a couple of minutes, the police showed up, eventually totalling about 16 of them. They arrested David and Liz and searched their cars. They accompanied David upstairs to his office to retrieve his identification and his car keys. But he was not charged, for the obvious reason that he had committed no offence. Liz was charged over unlocked transport of ammunition, but no conviction was recorded. Not surprisingly, some of David's work colleagues saw him being accompanied to his office by the police and drew their own conclusions. People do that. David was instructed to attend a disciplinary hearing. He was suspended without pay. I attended the hearing with David. Those present were Trent Hudson, Goodyear's HR consultant, and Anil Singh, Finance Director and David's immediate boss. Mr Hudson, who now works for Foxtel, did most of the talking, adopting a condescending and patronising manner towards both of us. Mr Singh, who is still at Goodyear Dunlop, said little. However, it later emerged he was the key decision-maker. David was summarily sacked with no compensation, no notice or pay in lieu, on the grounds that his conduct had had significant reputational impact on the company. The letter that followed to David sets out the injustice in detail. It said he had breached company policy by allowing firearms and ammunition on company property. This is a lie. David had no prior knowledge of what was in Liz's car. It said he failed to ensure the safety and security of fellow associates, building tenants and Goodyear assets. Another lie. Safety and security were never jeopardised. It said he was responsible for conduct that resulted in a complaint and formal warning against Goodyear by the building owner. A complete lie. No such complaint or warning ever occurred. It said David was responsible for conduct that has resulted in a financial penalty against Goodyear by the building owner. Another lie. There was no penalty. It said, without explanation, there was a breach of trust in the employment relationship. That's true, but it was Goodyear that breached the relationship after employing David for 12 years. In summary, the letter said, your actions placed Goodyear in a position whereby it was in breach of its obligation to provide a safe and secure working environment for its associates. False and an outright lie. The mere presence of a rifle does not constitute a threat, and in any case, it is quite trivial in the presence of at least 16 police, each of whom carries a firearm. What occurred should never have attracted attention in the first place. We Australians are rightly proud of our Olympic, Commonwealth Games and World Championship shooters and the medals they regularly bring home. Unfortunately, it seems the rest of the time they are treated as presumptive criminals. David took action against Goodyear in the kangaroo court known as the Fair Work Commission. Goodyear refused to negotiate in the conciliation phase. Goodyear turned up with 4 lawyers and a huge pile of documents containing lies and distortions, which it dumped on him 10 minutes before the case was to be heard. Nonetheless, David represented himself and did a fine job. The company's lawyers, Henty's lawyers, even tried to use my support for him to pursue their assertion that he'd done something wrong. Totally unprofessional and disgraceful. He was awarded pay of 4 weeks on the grounds that his dismissal should not have been summary. But this is not the end of the matter. There are consequences for Goodyear. Australia's sporting shooters will come to know about Goodyear and its treatment of David. Firearm owners around the world will come to know about it. Virtually all of Australia's 800,000 licensed firearm owners drive cars for which they require tyres. Virtually all of those licensed firearm owners have friends and relatives who also drive cars requiring tyres. Virtually any Australian who looks at what happened and says that is manifestly unfair drives a car. Virtually every firearm owner around the world who recognises injustice to a fellow shooter also drives a vehicle with tyres. I am calling on firearm owners around the world, wherever they are, to stop buying products made by Goodyear until it does the right thing by David. These products come under the brands Goodyear, Dunlop and Bow Repairs. I'm calling on Goodyear to hold responsible those employees responsible for this outrage, Anil Singh in particular, and those employees who have done nothing to rectify it, in particular Asia Pacific President Chris Delaney. It seems firearm owners have replaced blacks and Jews in the discrimination stakes. We cannot afford to allow this injustice to stand, because when they come for one of us in the morning, they'll be coming for the rest of us that night.
Thank you, Senator.